StoryBreakers to welcome. Backwards talk. We where show the...
Whoa. You are mixing up your words there, my friend. You having a stroke?
No, this is our special backwards episode.
No, that's Wednesday. This is Sunday's episode.
This is straightforward.
Yeah, straightforward.
I always mix that up.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay. Welcome to StoryBreakers, a show where we come up with a brand new film idea every single episode, and if you like it, it's yours. Hi, I'm your host, Chris Brennan, and here, the party pooper himself, is Mr. Flying Stephen Ryan.
Hello, guys. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to ruin your fun.
The backwards episode will definitely be the bee's knees, though.
Oh, it really would be. But we have to record it, though, as well. We have to do visual. I want to do it all complete backwards.
Or maybe we should do it forward and then just turn it backwards in post.
Actually, no, that'd probably be a lot easier.
Yeah, but we don't do the things the easy way, do we?
Yeah, we just won't tell them.
Why do you think we come up with film ideas off the top of our heads and then idiotically give them away?
Because we hate ourselves.
Cool, so how are you doing today?
Not too bad at all, not too bad. We're in our new pod lair.
Absolutely.
This week.
That's true, and we're on our Reboot episode too.
Exactly, I love reboots.
So I saw that you put up an interesting thing on Twitter about cartoons, didn't you?
I did. Not to say that I am a grown adult who watches the odd cartoon, so I decided to ask what cartoon, if you could turn into a movie, would you? So we got a lot of response back from it.
Yeah, it's true. For me, I was saying Biker Mice from Mars, because that's personally one thing that I grew up with, but I'm not quite sure many people even remember. It's basically a cheap rip-off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but why didn't they do that? Considering there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies in existence, why didn't they do Biker Mice from Mars instead of rebooting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I always found it funny too that is some guys in a lab or in an office were saying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's the key to success. It's in the syllables, you know?
It's all about rhyme.
Yeah. And then we had DJ Valentine at trying to be a DJV said he's all about the Mask, M-A-S-K, and Dino Riders.
Dino Riders. I love Dino Riders.
That is a crazy flashback. Yeah. I don't even remember anything about it. So I had actually sourced the intro. And, oh man.
It's crazy, isn't
that
it?
flashback hurt, actually.
And you remember every single thing about it when you watch this flashback. That's one of my favourite things to do when it's if I'm waiting on a train or on an airplane or something like that, go onto YouTube on my phone and I look up 90s cartoon intros or something like that. And the amount of flashbacks that you get is unbelievable. It's so good.
It's crazy. It's its own trip, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Sell that as a drug.
It's there's 15 years of my childhood just coming back to me now.
And Barry Steele also said that he's up for Mask as well.
Yeah.
M-A-S-K. Thing is, I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever seen it. I just don't know that is
Masked Crusaders. That was was just basically they were secret agents, but they had cars and bikes that the leader had a car that turned into an airplane.
Okay.
And the bad guy had a bike that turned into a helicopter, I think, and things like that. You know the way they were.
So just one mode of transportation turned into another.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does a hovercraft turn into?
A helicopter.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Probably no. Actually, a hovercraft. There was a boat that turned into a jeep. So it was an off-road jeep that turned into a speedboat, which is actually pretty good when you think about it. It covers everything.
Okay.
You could literally go around the world.
I might have to check that out, but I gotta say for this episode, I'm not vested enough into the knowledge of it to go forward. But then Connor Keppel at Con_Keppel actually said Inspector Gadget. That would be awesome.
No,
so,
I like the idea of doing an Inspector Gadget episode.
Me too. Because I grew up watching that. It was quite humorous. I thought it was really funny.
And I never really got it did technically get a movie incarnation, but it was a 70-minute Matthew Broderick movie that I don't know if people really even knew it existed.
I actually saw it back in 1999 or whatever, and it's such a kiddies kind of thing. I guess that's what it was for. It's like a Disney thing.
So it was proper kitty?
Yeah.
So let's do the opposite of today.
Yeah, I think so. And then before that, I'd say there was another thing that we started chatting about one night that ended up getting some good traction on Twitter as well. And it was talking about where would you what would the third, you have the third sequel, you have the third film, and then what would the fourth one be?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was one.
Yeah, so it was you have 1, 2, and 3, and then that's the end of the trilogy.
Yeah.
What would happen in the fourth one? So you were also talking about what fourth one would you eradicate, and so I think the main consensus was Indiana Jones 4.
There was an Indiana Jones 4?
Exactly, yeah. So we had Blake Backlash at Blake Backlash. He had a really good idea for an Indiana Jones.
He really did. I love this.
He said, and I quote, Had an idea for an opening sequence. Paramount logo fades to painted backdrop. A Hollywood set. Indy acting as an advisor on the film of his own adventures. A chase through old school Hollywood sets of scenes from Raiders, Temple, Crusade. Indy walks into the room full of extras dressed as Nazis and makes a whoa face. Confusion between prop and real gun and artifact. So that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be amazing. I actually got back to him. I said, that is actually probably the best way to reintroduce, like, Indiana Jones 4 came, 10, 15 years after the originals ended?
True.
So can you imagine all your brand new, the kids, the parents bring the kids don't know who Indiana Jones is. What a way to reintroduce them. Basically, technically, you're bringing them through the last 3 movies of, like, the main points. And you're saying, here, this is what Indiana Jones done. Like, wouldn't a kid be like, oh, that's pretty cool, actually, okay, I might give this movie a go, so I'm all right with it, you know?
So I'm thinking, before we do the reboot today, that's a really good thing to ask our audience to come up with other ideas for. I love the idea of, like, okay, you have 3 films, what is the 4th one? Close a chapter, and what would the next one be? That's a really good idea, by banishing the 4th Indiana Jones and creating a new 4th one. So yeah, just for the next week's episode, we might just do something on that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So we'll put it out there, we'll ask some more questions, and we'll check out your responses, guys.
Yeah.
But time to reboot Inspector Gadget.
We know it.
Yeah, okay, so you were saying earlier that you wanted to go a serious route with it.
Yeah, why not? I think that we already have a kiddie movie. Let's forget about it. Let's go not serious, but let's go like more grown up being fun.
Do you know what I'm thinking? And look, get your spit bucket ready and your vomit bag, because you're gonna hate this.
This isn't gonna be good.
I'm thinking, what if we did like a Michael Bay version, but we do like a good one. You know, not a ruin your childhood one.
Oh, so basically
there's I see the idea that he's trying to go for, and then it just turns into chauvinistic, racist tripe.
So basically what we're going to go for is the movie that, like, when we want to go see a Transformers movie, the expectation that we have before we go into it, instead of being totally let down, we're going to actually fill the expectation.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm really good with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so it's like we watched the Ninja Turtles, you know, like the new one.
Yeah.
Say, I know he's only the producer on it, but he always gets the flag too, right?
He does, yeah, it's crazy. But that goes with getting your name on it. Like, you know, if he's only a producer and his name is the first one on the bill, like, technically, okay, you should get the flag for it. And
yeah, so I thought, I watched that, and it was just so forgettable. I mean, it was unbelievably forgettable. I couldn't believe it. But,
had rapey Michelangelo in it.
Yeah, and it was just backstory. Everybody's tied in. Like, you didn't really get a proper chance to watch it.
It was too clean, wasn't it? It was too structured and too, like curved edge. And
so, I mean, basically we're going through these tropes that he does so we can avoid that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like Inspector Gadget, if you actually look at it a different way, you have this guy who's like made of different gadgets and stuff. I mean, the cartoon, right? The cartoon always went a certain way. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, like, it was this cartoon about this inspector who actually is a body built of gadgets.
Yeah, he's like he's cyborg, isn't he? He's
kind of.
Inspector Cyborg.
He's an idiot. He was like...
He's a Clouseau.
Yeah, he was like Mr. Magoo with a Batman belt, you know? Like, he was so clueless, and his daughter, Penny...
His niece, Penny. She was his niece.
His niece?
Yeah.
What happened to her father?
No idea.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh. It was Claw. See, that's exactly what Michael Bay would do. He'd tie all that shit back in and just ruin it.
That's it. We don't need to do that. Like, I don't need to know where our father and that is. Like,
but it's true. Like, look, Peter Parker, they try to solve where his father went in Amazing Spider-Man. Like, what is wrong with just saving your child? Everybody has, like, a niece or a nephew.
There's one thing that, like, with Batman, like, you know, I get fed up with... Yeah, I get fed up with...
orphans.
Well, they are all orphans. I get fed up with watching, like, Batman, you see the parents getting murdered over and over again. But, like, that's fine, because he never revisited then. It's like that was a crime that he can never solve. It's like, it's in the back of his mind. He's not going to keep going on about it. It's fine, like, you know.
Yeah. And then they have Brain, the
Brain
dog.
Which I think was a misspelling of Brian. I really do.
Didn't he have that collar gadget thing that would, like, shoot out? And could he talk?
No. Oh, when I think he might have had like that, you know, that kind of like the odd word might come out. You know, that was the best impression.
Did people
ever.
understand him when he did that?
I think like every fourth word or something that you might just get.
So is it like Chewie and Han, like where no one understands Chewie, but then Han's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think so.
Come on.
And actually, while it just pops into my head, this is the second cartoon now we've done on the show.
Okay.
Both of them based in Canada.
What, Rocket Robin Hood? Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Is that India? Is Inspector Gadget Canadian?
Yep, he's French Canadian originally, and
But Clouseau was taken.
I say have to give the Canadians their due. They know how to do cartoons.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. So what else was there with Inspector Gadget? I remember, wasn't it Quimby, the chief? He always at the start he'd always meet up. He always get a phone call on his Go Gadget fingers.
Right.
And he'd always get a phone call from Quimby. He'd go meet Quimby somewhere, and Quimby was always like hiding in he'd either hide in a bin or a safe.
Some kind of receptacle, right?
Yeah, something like ridiculous. Like he'd be in a pizza oven or in like.
That's just a health and safety hazard. Like that's. Who would want a pizza like with a side of Quimby, you know?
That's it. And he always had an Inspector Gadget document, and Inspector Gadget, like the document would be like, "Okay, so this is your mission for today." Then you give back the document to Quimby, but he didn't realise that every single time it was one of those exploding, automatically detonated
like Mission Impossible, like this will self-destruct in 3, 2.
And poor Quimby used to always be left with little smoke rings around his eyes and little.
because he would head it back and it would blow up, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Exactly. And so that was basically every episode, wasn't it?
But like just before we get further in, like in the show, which is like that's everything about it, right? Like the show is everything.
Pretty much. And it was Claw. You had Dr. Claw was the bad guy. You'd never seen him ever.
The arm and the cat.
It was only the arm and the what was it? The Bond villain's bad. He was the one with the cat.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
Mr. Bigglesworth with hair.
Every single one of them. But so it was always him, but we never seen his face. And I think that's something that we should actually later on we should look at, like that we never see his face.
Okay,
I'm pretty cool with that.
That's cool. But also in the cartoon, Inspector Gadget is a fucking idiot.
Oh, completely.
He is so retarded. Sorry, can I say that?
Yeah, because he is.
Okay. Well, there's definitely a PC word saying it, but we'll edit that out. But like, he always needs Penny and Brain to like save him each time. Yeah. So when we're going forward, we might have to think about that. I can't think of a story that you have such a dumbass for a lead. So I think we might have to modify that slightly.
Yeah, I definitely do too as well. How would you feel if we? I don't want to do an origin of Inspector Gadget. I don't want to know where he got his powers or how he got them.
Okay.
I think that's a bit like, that's a bit too, like, you spend all night trying to figure out that. So I say, why don't we go to, he's already retired, like he's maybe made redundant now from the force, he's retired. But Penny, because she's the one who's always been solving the crimes as a kid, she's now this like master spy. She's like one of the best spies around. She's like
an adult.
Yeah, she's already an adult.
Okay.
She's in her early 20s maybe, and she's like the Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. Like, she's the ultimate spy.
So are we saying that he already has gadgets?
Oh yeah, he already has gadgets. He already has them. He's been living his life with them. And now, because he's such a klutz, like maybe the police force are like, we don't really need you here. And they have Penny now. It's like, Penny is like the head of the secret espionage.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I'm like, have you seen Incredible Hulk, the forgotten Marvel film?
Oh, I just remembered it.
Yeah, yeah. Like, they just seem to like shovel that underneath the.
Exactly. We don't need to know that, do we? Really, I think we can move on with it.
I didn't respect the opening of that, where they basically handled the whole Bruce Banner turning into Hulk in the credits. They were like, it was like a montage. Like, yeah, you know this, blah, 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 blah. He's a giant green monster, and when he gets an erection, he goes ballistic. So film, start. So maybe we can handle his career in the credits, say.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think you're onto something there about you can keep the dumbass mentality, but maybe his arc is becoming like a proper agent, proper inspector who earned the gadgets, right?
Exactly, and I think by doing it this way, we're not actually shitting on the cartoon either.
Yeah,
the cartoon exists. Is his ethos and everything. Everything is there. It's all ready. It's all canon.
Yeah.
But now we're going on a different route, so we're not messing with people's memories of it.
That's good, because I did not want him to just be a dumbass for the whole time.
No.
But at the same time, you don't want to just abandon that thing, because that's part of the charm of it.
Yep.
And to get rid of that, you feel like you're losing it, or you might as well make the $6 Million Man. Like Bionic Woman. Like it changes what it is without that.
We've had Mr. Magoo. We've had like the Pink Panther movies. It's always the same. They start off one way, they end that way.
Yeah, there's no arc.
Yeah, let's give them an arc. Let's make it.
Okay, so we start off credits, and that can kind of be like maybe engineering, but like how Wolverine is getting adamantium put in flashbacks, where we don't really see other than that, like just close-ups and quick edits of it being built in. We might find out what happened later on, and then we just kind of see how he goes through things, see how his niece helps him. I think this dog, I mean,
I would like the dog to be his partner in this.
is it a dog though, or can we change that? I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you cannot do a film with a dog. Say like,
what about the mask? We had Stanley Ipkiss and Milo. Remember Milo? He was a pretty good psychic.
Yeah, but
he wasn't as smart now, granted, but I get what you're saying.
But we could turn it into like a little brother or something.
That's really mean. We're going to change the dog character and turn him into a little boy.
Well, it's not like, you know, you take in you hired Idris Elba in a white character role, like, you know, we're replacing a dog. I just think that it's a nothing character. Like, it's not a character, it's a dog. I mean, you can just kind of take the idea that O is her best friend, and so he helped as well. But I think we can't do anything with a dog, like, unless he runs away from flames and jumps in slow motion, like in Independence Day, you know, like, it's just, there's nothing there to do. Otherwise, I'd get rid of the dog completely.
Okay, so we can do that then. We can get rid of the dog. Do we still call him Brain? Or do we call him Brian?
Brian.
We call him Brian, okay.
But we can have the joke where someone's like, Brain, sorry. Sorry, Brain, I mean Brian, you know?
Yeah.
But is that okay?
Let's do that, yeah.
But what are we going to do with the dog? Like,
okay.
Like, quick, claws here. Let's go walkies.
Well, we do
take the cat. Fetch. Like, we would be missing a really unique cat versus dog scene near the end in the climax. But I'm okay with that.
Okay, well, I'm going to hold artistic license here to say if there's a funny scene that we come up with that we can throw the dog in or throw them in.
Okay.
Just to be part of the Inspector Gadget. Okay. So what then if, to start off with your montage setup, what if it's Claw looking through old, you see over his shoulder of the chair, you see the arm, he's looking through old footage of Inspector Gadget foiling all his...
So you're like, you see the montage, then you pull out and it's a screen, and then all you have, you keep pulling out and you just see this arm.
Exactly.
With like a metallic...
metallic claw, pointy fingered. So he's obviously still seething over everything. He hasn't forgiven him. This is like, we don't know which years in the future yet, but obviously we can tell that some time has gone by because we're left to look at a montage.
And he's not an Inspector anymore.
Exactly.
He's just Gadget.
He's just Gadget. Oh.
That's the name.
John Gadget. That's actually his name is John.
John.
Yeah, I've seen that on Wikipedia before. It was John
I'm James
Gadget.
Bond. I'm John Gadget.
Yeah. Inspector God.
Go Gadget handshake. It's like, not every time, man.
Go Gadget greeting.
There's probably going to be a lot of that today.
Yeah, this is another thing I think that we should actually really set ourselves on. People are probably going to hate this when they listen to it, but whenever we use his power, we have to say Go Gadget. If he doesn't say it, then it doesn't work.
Okay. That sounds like a deal. So we start with we need to speed this up. We're still in the fucking montage.
Alright, let's get into it. Okay. So we start off. How about we start off and we go straight to Penny. She's a super agent and we do one of these massive Michael Bay / Mission Impossible. You know, the big, like the Burj Khalifa where Tom Cruise is sliding down the side of the building. You know, something massive in scale. And it's Penny. She's on a mission. She's doing a mission. She's on her own, like looking like Black Widow kind of style, going.
And they never caught Claw.
Yeah, they never caught.
Her life pursuit is Claw.
Maybe that's it. Her
uncle failed, and she's finding one of his foot soldiers to take away from Ninja Turtles. You know.
Yeah.
Like Go Gadget soldiers.
They're called MAD, aren't they? They're called MAD. I think, yeah. They always had that M.A.D. So it stood for something, but I don't know what it stood for.
Okay. So yeah, it's one of the key guys. A guy that can actually trace back to Claw. Claw's been underground for years now, and they found the guy who can actually name him. Like,
and can we say Claw?
Name and shame him, like on Facebook. Hey, you didn't deliver my cosplay costume.
Unlike
Claw.
Can we?
I wanted Thor's hammer, and you said you'd give it to me. No, that's unfair. They did pay for Thor's hammer, by the way.
That is true. Could we do it like where Claw is like Thanos, where he's like the ultimate ruler? He's a big
got like
big boss.
infinity rings on his claw.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe they're corks to stop him from scratching himself. And yeah, so we don't really ever see him face to face because we never seen him in the cartoons. But he's there pulling all the strings. He's the one pulling all the strings. So he's the big villain, and we can have like other villains underneath him. They're the ones that we're going to.
Yeah, no, but I like this. So she's Black Widow-esque.
Yeah.
And she's who's playing her?
Okay, so we need to go someone young, but someone who can like really kick ass. Who would you find?
Not the girl from Kick-Ass. That's too young. Because she'd be good if it was Inspector Gadget when he was an inspector. But if we're going older, we gotta go older.
What about who was it that played Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Like her from what show Selfie? Is that still on?
Doctor Who, Karen Gillan.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I know she's blue in Guardians, but when she's not, like she's.
I like her though. Yeah,
perfect.
And we've seen her kick ass in Guardians. Like she was like a straight
tough.
Badass.
She was one of the toughest in that.
But yeah, okay, so cool. And then might as well go.
Yeah, Gadget.
Inspector Gadget. Well, Gadget. I'm John Gadget.
John Gadget.
Yeah, I don't know. We're looking at someone who basically went through the thing. A bit quirky. He's retired.
Yeah, like a Steve Carell, but someone who can actually kind of.
He's a bit. He was in Get Smart, so that's too close.
Yeah,
because doesn't he like go in trees and the tree is an elevator down? You know.
Yeah, it needs to be like him. That personality ish. They can pull off that personality book. Who you believe can fight.
John Cusack.
Well, sir, the award to best ever casting goes to you. I think
he's a good Gadget, isn't he?
He is very good Gadget. And his name is John.
Yeah, so he's halfway there. I can see him delivering these lines, like these absurd lines.
And he's the cool uncle as well. You can see him being a cool uncle, couldn't you?
Okay, so that's our cast going forward.
Cool.
So we have Karen Gillan. Well, we'll call her Penny.
Let's call her Penny from now. So we have that picture in our head anyway.
Yeah. So we have her basically tracking one of the main guys of MAD.
Yeah.
MAD. And so where does they find him? She catches him anyway, right? So she catches him. Maybe it's like I'm seeing something like the Avengers where like Loki grabs that dude and like pulls his eye out to get that thing, you know? I see it's like in one of these kind of, instead of like a dirty warehouse, it might be somewhere like open, he's hiding in plain sight kind of things. And she actually has to like dress the part. So you have this kind of True Lies kind of opening. Where it's
I love that movie.
It's like, it's like a ball scene.
Yeah, we're hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, and she gets in, like, maybe it is like a throwback to True Lies. Like she gets in her ball gown, and catches the guy, corners him, like unbeknownst to anybody at the ball, Maybe she gets to dance with the guy, and then she's like, "Come with me," and then she corners him, zaps him with maybe like her own gadget, She's got external gadgets that she uses, I
think she always did have that sort of stuff. She always had like what seemed to be an iPad, if you look at it now.
Okay.
In the cartoon back in the day, she always had some sort of gadgets some sort of technology to help him through.
All right.
Yeah. So that sounds perfectly
So
possible.
boom, bagged, interrogation room. She's like, so you can cut then. He's in the interrogation room, and go with me here. And he's sitting there, and he's being interrogated by a couple of guys, maybe by her, She's getting information out of him, and she's like, okay, I'm taking a break. She leaves, and the phone rings. It's her uncle. So we introduce Inspector Gadget that way. Like, he's at home, he's bored, and maybe he's like watering plants with his Go-Go Gadget fucking spray bottle, and he has nothing to do. Like, he's like, fuck it.
He has been doing some really absurd things, like really silly
Go-Go
things.
Gadget, checkers. But like he's bored. He's got all these gadgets and he has nothing to use them for. He's like, she's like, when you mow the lawn, he's like, I already used my Go-Go Gadget lawnmower earlier. I want some action.
Why'd you bring the boy for a walk?
What's Brian up to these days anyway? But so you can have then you introduce the idea that they never caught Claw. He's always regretted that, but he was never good enough to catch Claw.
Yep.
She's getting close, and he's like, be careful. I've never been able to catch him. And she's like, no, I got this. I got this, Unky. I got this, Unky John. He's not even calling him a Gadget yet. He hasn't even earned that yet. Like, Inspector Gadget's gone. It's John.
Yeah.
And then I think she gets her first clue from this guy. This guy's got to give her something. And that kicks off the plot.
Well, what if then he says something, he gives her the clue, and she mentions it, we're onto something really cool now with this guy we had. He's out there saying this to us, so it's obviously a clue now to get ahead. What if, though, to help John on his arc, that Penny gets kidnapped now. She gets like she's after getting set up maybe, and she gets kidnapped. She's now in custody of like the Dr. Claw guy.
Okay.
So now Inspector Gadget has to come out of his own retirement. He knows that something's not right. Maybe she went in the conversation. She says like, we're going to meet for our usual coffee on Wednesday. something along those lines. What
Okay,
they always
yeah,
do,
yeah.
and she doesn't turn up. Then he realizes
We go
something's
for
wrong.
a go Gadget espresso.
He'd definitely be going after that. And yes,
I've got an espresso machine in me.
oh, that's disgusting. Uncle Joe.
Would you drink that?
No way.
What if it was down by the crotchal area going like, just look, it's just a gadget.
Yeah, we can only have espresso after Indian food the night before.
It's just I didn't place it there, but it just comes out of my crotch.
Yeah. I really hope in version 2 of me that they really sort these bugs out.
Yeah, he's like, I need an update, Penny. You know this, and I know this.
Like, why is my go Gadget toilet paper come out of my hat and not, and the cup comes down there?
You clipped my wings. You clipped my wings.
Okay, so that happens then. So we can then go to...
Totally. So she goes in the interrogation room, gets the information, and then they basically send the guy out there to like wire him up and trap Claw.
Yeah.
Now this is one of those traps, like how Loki was a trap, like how Skyfall was a trap, Joker.
Like the bluff, basically.
You have somebody get caught on purpose to kidnap somebody else. But this time, what's different is they succeed. Well, Joker succeeded, but this time they succeed, and so they go through the whole rigmarole of like setting it up, and they've got the surveillance everywhere. But Claw's mission is to capture Penny. Why? We don't know yet, but we will find out very soon.
Hopefully.
Next fucking hour, anyway.
Hopefully.
But I like that. So like, it is like, as you said, he captures Penny. That takes the best agent out of the thing, and like Die Hard with a Vengeance. I love the fact that Die Hard with a Vengeance had the villain go, "Give me John McClane." Like, I demand him.
Yeah.
Like, you have this guy who doesn't want to be involved, but the villain demands him being involved. He's like, I want John Gadget. So he's like, bring John Gadget in, and I want him. So that's how we get Gadget, who's still probably using his Go Gadget clippers, like mowing his lawn and clipping the hedges, He gets the call, Gazooks! Like, Penny's been kidnapped.
Could we have a scene where, maybe we go onto the Wednesday morning, Gadget's in bed, but
The Go Gadget hangover?
do you remember those, like, always in, like, any kind of scientist and professor, like, they always have these, like, contraptions that make their own breakfast for them? So like the egg cracks. Yeah, exactly, something like that, the conveyor belt of breakfast, could we have something where, like, John's in bed, he's asleep, and next thing he wakes up to the smell of bacon, he's like, oh, I must have been dreaming about making breakfast again, and all his gadget stuff is all out making himself breakfast, so he wakes up to his breakfast.
And then it's ready, and it's just like this close-up shot of crackling bacon, and it zooms out, and it's in his chest.
Yeah, like Hot Shots.
It's just disgusting. I love playing with the idea, like, he's doing things in his body that, like, just people be like, I don't want that. It's just a gadget. It's just a gadget.
It's just a George Foreman in my gut.
So he gets a call. Penny's been kidnapped. Come to the office. So he comes back to headquarters, and he's seen a lot of old people. He even walks by, like, maybe a hallway, and there's photos of his old missions, but a lot of it's kind of like bumbling. Like, he was kind of an idiot. Like, things didn't work, but he kind of got the credit for it, But, so he walks by that. That gives the audience a little more backstory to him, And he talks to the chief, or whoever the higher-up figure is, sits him down. And I say when he hears the news, maybe his gadgets go ballistic. It's like, what are you pointing? Nerf balls shoot out of him. He's like, sorry. You can't surprise me with this information.
Sorry, I got excited. I'm a bit out of sorts. I haven't used these gadgets properly in so many years.
Oil squirts out of him. The chief slips on it, breaks his back.
Straight away, the siren, the cherry starts going off in his head.
So he's told the news. Penny's been kidnapped. And he's like, what can we do? And he was like, what are you guys doing? Because he's kind of been relegated to the side for so long that he wants to get involved but knows his place. And that's when they tell him, like, we've been given instructions, And then they just show him, like, a video of, like, Claw. But Claw's in the shadows. It's just a hand, And it's like just a video message about, like, why, where Penny is, why he wants Gadget, and what he wants Gadget to do. It doesn't sound like what he wants, but it's like, I want him to go here. I devised a thing for Gadget to do. Maybe
he makes him enroll in the Young Scientist of the Year. Yeah. And he is the actual the prop, the invention. It's like, you have to win first place or she's dead.
So like the guy that they were interrogating was Bill Nye the Science Guy. I knew it someday. So I think we can even add something in, like, so why does he want Gadget? Well, think of it this way. That's a really peculiar, amazing person that squandered his ability. Maybe Claw wants that. Maybe he wants Gadget. He can never get him. And we can even say earlier, like, Inspector Gadget, when he retired, was put under, like, massive presidential security because he is a weapon himself. So Claw wants that weapon. He wants to basically become Gadget. Gadget boy. He's like, I want this. I've got one fucking arm that's Gadget's. He's got a whole body. Maybe that's a Claw thing. We can actually have that. They came from like the same factory or whatever. Or they were
both made in China.
Like they were in an accident together or something. We don't go too much backstory, but all that happened to Claw was his arm. Everything else, like RoboCop, happened to Inspector Gadget, so he got gadgets galore. Yep. And so Claw's whole thing is like pining over the idea, like, I want gadgets. So,
okay, I'll buy you an iPhone 6. How about that?
Well, we don't know that. Like, they don't know that yet, but we now do. Is that okay? That seems like
I'm good with that,
because it does seem like Mortal Enemies. What would Gadget have that Claw would want? His fucking body, like just everything that he can do. Like, I want to.
He wants to be able to cook breakfast while he sleeps in the morning. That's what he wants. It's simple
I haven't
and
had
pleasures.
espresso in my crotch in years. Yeah. So he puts a Gadget on a mission. He's like, I'd say even we don't go too far down Die Hard with a Vengeance, but I do enjoy the cat and mouse game because that's what they were doing anyway. The whole cartoon was you're one step ahead.
Yeah.
But at least this way it brings him back into the fold. And he's like, okay, I want you to go here, and then kind of throw him around a couple of different scenarios, you know? So that's where we're at now. And that's pretty much like the first act then.
Yep.
Okay, Penny's been kidnapped. Inspector Gadget's on the case. And you can even have him dust off that fucking jacket.
Oh,
like
definitely.
He hasn't worn that jacket in a while.
Yeah, the hat goes on. You can do the real, like the do you remember like Batman and Robin where they're zipping up the bat suit and shows his ass and then the bulls and all that sort of stuff. And then, like, you know.
The espresso crotch.
Yeah, it's like you just see the hat getting put on. They're running the tips of his fingers around the lip of the hat. You know, that classic stuff. And then he accidentally sets off the inflation in his jacket and gets stuck in a room. It's like, come on, Inspector.
Gadget, you know better.
Maybe that's a cool thing before he leaves the station. It's like, you know, the new chief comes up to him and goes, hey, you're going to need this, and he hands him his badge. He goes, maybe he can earn you the right to be an inspector this time or something.
Like that. Yeah.
So he is Inspector Gadget now, but he has to still earn it.
I thought that, like, he hasn't earned it yet. We now have a mission. So Gadget's now on the mission. Where is he going?
What if Claw wanted him to go and get something for him? He said in his mission is like, you know, I want you to go and I want you to get this.
But it's a bluff.
Okay.
Is it? Or what were you saying?
I don't know, actually. I was thinking that, like, maybe he has to go to a museum. Like, maybe Claw wants to see if he's still up to speed. Like, is he still like his old perfect self? Because as far as Claw's concerned, I think Gadget is his number one enemy. He thinks Gadget is responsible for foiling him all those years and not realizing that it was Penny. Okay. I think. So maybe it's like, you know, go to the museum. I want you to steal like the Mona Lisa or something like that. Right. And if he can do it, he's still the Inspector Gadget that I want, you know. And so that's okay. So it's like that whole Loki thing of going and collecting the eyeball to get the iridium, was it, or something like that?
Right.
To set off the cosmic cube, the Tesseract.
So maybe instead of a Mona Lisa, maybe it's he has to go get a surgeon that can perform the operation. The guy who put.
So he's on a kidnap mission.
Yeah. So he's putting Inspector Gadget together. But I don't think he tells him that. He's like, go to this spot. And basically his job, like the whole scene plays out that when he gets there, he's like, it's a kind of switcheroo, like let's lose the cops kind of thing, you know? So he's like, go here, now go here, now go here. And they just grab him, pick him up. And they're like, if you want to see Penny again, you'll come with us. And that's his mission. Like, in order to get this scientist, you need the gadgets. So he has to go with Claw. He's in cahoots with Claw against his will. But he doesn't know who he's going for yet. So he's like, you have to go here, and you have to catch this, you have to get this guy. He's like maybe they dub him like a freedom fighter, like he's a terrorist or something.
Yeah, it's in a different country as well, maybe. So he has to do it against the will of the police.
Yeah.
So he has to go pretty much like secret agent on it.
Yeah,
he doesn't have the police to help him in this country.
Yeah, why not?
So he basically has to do it silently, and then he gets caught, maybe, or maybe something. Obviously, he's going to get caught because he's a fuck up.
Yeah, totally.
So he has to.
So is James Bond.
Oh,
He gets caught all the time.
James Bond
he has no gadgets inside him.
Exactly, he's worse than Inspector Gadget. He's not as cool as Inspector Gadget. He needs Q to give him his gadgets.
He doesn't have an answering machine in his body.
You never hear Inspector Gadget going, go, exploding pen. You know, he does so much better things than James Bond.
Go, iPhone, which is pretty much everything. Go,
sign
on the phone. So we have him going on a mission, and I like the idea that he's searching for a scientist, but Gadget doesn't know that.
So we give the scientist a weird name like Brick. So you have to go get the brick at this point. You know?
Okay,
so then he goes and he's like, I'm here looking for the brick. I'm Brick. I'm Professor Brick.
Yeah, so he breaks in somewhere. Yeah, so he goes to another country and has to like covertly break in. And I think before this, I think we actually have to set up the thing where he does lose the cops, because I want to have him on his own mission. And he's actually being a bit selfish here, because he knows that what he's doing is wrong, but he wants Penny back. So he's actually
gonna love his heart.
Yeah, so he has to go and find it. So he's ditched the cops, and it's another country too, which is pretty cool. Goes to another country. So he gets the details. It's like, if you want her back, you have to play this game or whatever, and you have to do this right. You have to do what I want, and then once I get this item, and he can be like, it keeps me alive. Like he lies to him. He's like, I just need this thing to stay alive, you know. And Gadget's like, okay, if it keeps him alive, like, what's the worst that can happen? I don't want to lose Penny, so this guy will live a few more years. Fuck it, you know. So he goes on his mission, and it's like, say, like a bunker of some type, you know, like a maximum security kind of place.
An underground.
Fuck it, prison.
A futuristic face-off prison.
Yeah, magnetic boot prison. The scientists are looking for that they need is in prison. How about that?
Okay.
But well, then we can't use the brick thing.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Just to break this guy out.
Yeah.
So break this guy out, this freedom fighter or whatever. He doesn't know he's a fucking scientist. So he's like, break this freedom fighter out, and that guy can help me like live or whatever. And so he does. So you have a cool like prison break scene there, because you see the gadgets really pop out now. We kind of earned it by this point. We've actually needed it for a while. But I guess the montage at the start will really help kind of give us some stuff.
So it's Go Gadget Laserfinger while he cuts through the iron bars of the prison. It's Go Gadget. What was it? Go Gadget helicopter. And remember, the helicopter popped out of his head and then he flows off. So that's how he gets over the wall and stuff like that.
Go Gadget pepper spray. He's hitting guards in the face and stun guns and stuff. Like Go Gadget. Brick to the face. He just throws a brick at somebody.
Go Gadget oil slick, and he puts oil on the ground so all the guards go flying and stumbling and everything.
I can even see a funny moment there actually where like he's cornered by this big guy, and he's like Go Gadget, and the guy hits him. He's like Go Gadget, hits him again. So he just kicks the guy in the nuts and punches him, and it was like, oh, I didn't need the gadgets at all. You know,
that's how normal people do it.
It's like, it was just so cool to have that kind of element to it, where he's so reliant on that, but that doesn't really work. So he breaks into the prison in a really cool sequence, you know, using as many gadgets as possible. Springs the guy, gets him out, you know, and they have a meeting spot with the goons, you know. The Claw still isn't there. I say the Claw is just, he's on screens a lot, right?
Oh yeah, we don't know where he is. He's like, you know, it could be one of those like, he's transmitting from this location, but he's not, you know, and it's all that. All we ever see of Claw is the back of his chair and his claw. That's it. We don't know where he is, and he always has someone there liaising with the inspector when he reaches his.
I could see
goal.
The next one being like him facing forward in the shadows, and all you see is the hand. But he kind of leans forward slightly, and you just get like the very faintest glimpse of like his face, and whether it's robotic or mutilated or whatever, like it's something's fucked up, you know.
It just turns out it's just a cat.
Yeah,
it's just a cat's head just on his shoulder, just popping its little head out.
Meow, Mr. Gadget. So he gets the guy, and he's like, okay, here now I want my daughter, my niece back, and then what happens?
So then it's like it's like, well, she's not here at the moment. You're still not. Your trials aren't up yet. You still have to do another thing for us.
And he has to get so. You were saying something earlier about like a brick. Maybe we incorporate that. Maybe it's like you need the surgeon and you need that exact.
You need
thing.
the object.
Yeah, you need the rabbit's foot. Basically, that can actually convert the powers from one guy to the other. Which is like, you can't just medically put that in. You need to have like that device to do it, you know. But I don't think Gadget goes for that at all. I think he says no, and gets out with his fucking life. Like, he barely gets out. And you have a whole scene there where he's like, go Gadget, shield, you know, like...
Oh, can you do like Old Boy, Go Gadget hammer?
And
he goes crazy in the hallway.
Go Gadget, live octopus to eat, and he just eats it like, oh boy.
Go Gadget calamari.
Yeah. But so I think at that point he's like, no, now I know what you're up to. Like, you want to take my powers. He says fucking no. He's like, no. These powers in the wrong hands is destruction, you know, I can't let you do it.
These powers in my hands is bad enough, and like, I cause a lot of destruction by accident.
Yeah.
As someone who wants to do it, no way, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. And things flying off his chest because he got excited again.
Go Gadget out of here, like, you know.
Yeah. So he springs, like he's like springing away.
Oh yes, his little slinky ankles.
Yeah. So I think they basically go like, okay, we now have the doctor. Now we need this device, and he refuses to get the device because he copped on to what they're up to, you know. And at that point, there's that scene. He escapes, but now they're both after the same thing. He's like, I can't let them get this device, and I have to save Penny. Now they're both going for the same thing, and I think they should both know where it's at.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe that's
I think it should be a traveling thing.
Claw basically gives him the blueprints of the plan. He's like, so this is the plan. That's when Gadget goes, no, I'm not going to do that. But then Claw knows Gadget so well. He's like, he's going to go there to stop us from getting it anyway. So no matter what, he's still doing what we want him to do. So let's follow him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe now. So say that happened in New York. Let's go to like Beijing now or something like that. That's where.
But do you think it should be in a static building, or do you think it should be like on a train that's traveling? I think by giving it a movement that it's traveling somewhere, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's so important we can never leave it at one spot, so it's constantly going from place to place.
What if a submarine?
It's like a MacGuffin hot potato.
Yeah, what about a submarine? We can't enter a submarine when it's underwater.
I like that.
But Go Gadget can do it.
Yes, he can, but I gave him a new element.
Yeah.
But then Mad have their own submarines. So yeah, cool. So they're like, it's being currently held either here, or here. So they don't know where. So like, it gives us more to play with, and they have 4 locations that it could be at. It's constantly changing hands. One is here, one is in a plane, one is in a train, one is in a boat, one is in a boat, or whatever.
That's it. So he needs the power source for the submarine. For the submarine itself, Claw needs that to power all the gadgets in his body. Say, that's his gag at the moment, maybe.
Oh yeah. So the MacGuffin is like
the energy source.
Yeah, like Iron Man has that thing in his chest.
The arc reactor.
Yeah, so it's basically the arc reactor. Like, it's designed for specific people, like a fingerprint.
Yeah.
So they made one specifically for Inspector Gadget. So you can give Claw all the gadgets.
That's the only good thing that came out of Inspector Gadget, like renewable energy. It's amazing. We invented renewable energy when we made you, but we didn't realize it. But now we have it in everything.
So does he ever at one point use his thumb and pinky for a phone?
Of course, yeah. That's the Go Gadget phone. He pulls out the little the antenna out of his thumb, doesn't he? The top of his thumb falls back in the antenna. It's like, yeah, we have to do that. And like, maybe it's like...
But I think definitely if that is to happen, somebody turns to him who's on the phone going, that's just so whack. Just use a phone, man.
Maybe he's like, I can't get a signal here, and some kid in an iPhone is like, dude, like, when is that phone from? Does that still work? Like, what the hell? What iOS is that?
Yeah, your finger phone.
Can you get apps for that? Like, and he's like, yeah, Go Gadget helicopter, Go Gadget.
Like, what percentage of your battery? 3%? Yeah, fuck you. You know,
Yeah, never charge.
You don't have the espresso arc reactor like I do.
I never have to charge this bad boy.
So yeah, cool. So we got he's on his mission now. Now we can have him going through, like, this could be a couple of different things. I say no airplane, or maybe an airplane, fuck it. But break into a building, it's not there, you know? So that, like, you have both of them. We're following Gadget all the time, but we can see them going through their options out of 4, you know?
I love that.
Actually, out of 3.
Yeah, out of 3. I love that idea that like one is in a plane, so he goes to a plane and he has a little helicopter. He's outside following a plane, just on his own, just flying through the sky, and everyone's looking at the window like, "What the fuck is that?" There, like, what's going on? He's like, "Can I get in here? I need to talk to you for a minute."
Military, right?
Yeah, it's like they're like, "What is this?" Like, shooting down. It's like, no, I'm working for you. So I'm working for you. This is okay. Oh, I'm the inspector.
I can see the whole cargo bay open up in the back, you know? But for once, someone's not jumping out, someone's getting in midair.
It's like, who the hell is this?
And then I'd say, because he's a bit of a buffoon, right? Maybe his Go Gadget parachute opens then. And when he's about to get in, it opens and he flies back. So I think when he gets on there, I'd say he's like one step ahead of Mad. And so when he's on there and he's looking for it, like a helicopter, like a jet shows up and is Mad Men.
Can the head of Mad Men be John Hamm?
Sure. Sure, I don't see why not.
So he's the head henchman.
So now, like, they think that's there, and they're like ready to shoot it down because whatever. Like they'll say, like, look, this thing you can shoot down. It's like in a black box of its own. It's indestructible. Blah blah blah. You know. So then we're like, now he has to like save this cargo plane full of soldiers because they don't. He has to save them because they're being chased by a jet, and he's like, I fucking brought these guys here. You know. So you have another action scene then, where it's like a man with like fucking helicopter helmet versus a jet.
Can we do this thing where like they try to shoot down the jet, and the jet is actually like they say they blow out an engine and the jet is falling, and
the cargo plane?
Yeah, the cargo plane. Sorry, it's falling through the sky. And Inspector Gadget's like, I can do this. I know I can help you. And he gets out on top of the plane, and he does, Superman Returns. Remember the way he was trying to catch the plane out of the sky? But like he's doing go gadget parachute, and it doesn't work. And it's like, okay, go catch a helicopter, and it's like he can't really get it. So he starts trying all these go gadget things.
Yeah, and they're breaking.
But all they do in the plane is like the pilot has managed to reset the engine. Is like then the plane starts to level out, and it's like, oh, it's okay. I helped you. I have to go. Since you don't have the stuff, I have to go. Okay, I have to go to the next point. So he thinks he's like helping him. It's like, nope.
Cause I can see in that part, instead of like being underneath the plane and pushing it up, I can see him flying and his gadget arms extend and like grab like the nose of the plane, and he's trying to like retract it in.
Yeah,
but
that'd be awesome.
I don't see that. I wouldn't say him failing completely because he's on an arc right now, so he has to actually be getting better. So I think that they helped, but he did something. Like he helped level it out.
Maybe he lifts up the nose of the plane, and like a little bit of shrapnel falls off the plane, like he pulls too hard, and it hits the fighter plane.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So he knocks them out, and that's Inspector Gadget. Isn't it? So that's
that would be perfect for me because he's not the dumbass who didn't save the day. He saved the day, but he did it accidentally. You know, like so that's really cool. I could see that. You know. So you pulling, piece of it falls off, and it shoots right through like the windscreen of the jet. Yeah. And the jet starts spiraling down, and like he levels out the plane, and you're like, "Thank you, Inspector Gadget." But this is the first time. It is important for his character. This is the first time he actually did this without Penny's help. He's never saved anybody on his own. He saved an entire cargo plane without Penny. What an amazing moment for him.
Pride.
So he hits that parade.
Go Gadget confidence.
Yeah.
Go Gadget swagger.
But still, a place that isn't there. So he's like, I've got another place to go to. I think he's quite isolated now. So I think he does need somebody to help him.
I think
we have Brian Brain. We haven't went near this person yet.
What if Brian is? What if he's Penny's boyfriend or something who's also an agent?
Yeah, we can even say the dog existed is gone.
What if you have Brain? What if you have Brain the dog, right? You just Inspector Gadget had to leave him alone. You know, he was Penny's dog as well. But Penny's had to leave the dog behind with Inspector Gadget. She missed him, so she goes out with a guy called Brian.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of like.
Okay, so
he's a real puppy-eyed guy, like you know. He's
another agent, but I think now we need somebody to help him.
So what if he rings up Quimby? What if he rings up his old chief, who's retired now, and he's like, I need your help. You were always there to guide me in the right direction. I don't know what to do now. So he's like, here, look, give this guy a call. He'll help you along the way.
No, actually, I think you're close, but if we're saying the fact that he helped Claw, maybe he's like enemy number one as well. They think that Gadget and Claw are in cahoots.
Oh, so Gadget's on the run now.
I think now, because instead of calling Quimby, he calls Brian, and Brian's like, everyone's fucking looking for you. Where are you at? He's like, I was forced to do this. I just want to save Penny. And he's like, okay, that's my motivation too. He's like, I don't know if I can trust you. He's like, look, she's helped me all my life. I can just help her this once.
She's like a daughter to me.
Yeah, right. So he actually has this motivation. He's now got the boyfriend who's an agent himself. But I like the idea that he's on the run as well. Because we just introduced the fact that he broke into a prison. So why would they be like, yeah, he's okay? No, like it's on the news that Gadget Boy just broke into a prison. We knew. And you can have like in the background mayors and presidents and people going like, we knew that this guy would one day turn on us, and we told you we should have turned him off.
He's a weapon of mass destruction. Yeah. No, he's not. Come on.
Absolutely. So cool. So he gets Brian, and that's to help him with the train part. I think he's like, look, I need your help, and there's a reason why he needs his help for the train. You know, it's like, look, I just.
Maybe he's a locator or something, or
Yeah. He's like, it's like, and I need you to be there, or maybe not even be there. Yeah, he needs help locating. Look, I don't have this in my database. Can you check your database and see where this train is?
Maybe it's an underground train.
Okay.
I don't know. Although we had an underground prison, but
and an underground submarine.
That's underwater, my friend.
Which is underground.
Do you know how a submarine works?
I can go underground a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So he gets onto the train. So he needs help with the train, and so
right.
It's like, yeah, I need the coordinates. I need you to meet me there because I need. He goes, these mad guys. They're pretty hardcore. I think I need some help. Like, you know, they nearly shot down a military plane.
These mad guys are some bad guys.
They're some bad guys.
Yeah.
They're mean and dangerous.
Nice.
Boom.
Mean and dangerous.
That's probably already exists.
That's probably what it is.
It probably is.
It's French Canadian. What do you expect? But okay, that's a good idea. So he's looking for the locator, but he's like, okay, they located. He's like, thanks. And Brian's like, I want to go with you. You can't. No, I want to go with you. And like convinces him, I need to go with you. And as passionate as he was with Brian about like, she saved me, you know, he's like, I need to go. So he agrees, like, all right, I'll pick you up. And then I'll fly you over, you know? So he does pick him up and they go on their mission to the train. Where's this train then?
So, well, we've had like, let's say somewhere in Europe. That's like, it's in Central Europe somewhere. We're doing Globetrotting, aren't we?
Yeah.
So let's say like it's going through Russia.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So it's like a bit of a dirty, you know, like a harsh train, not dirty train, harsh train. Like, you know, it's all snowy and hilly and rocky. No, it's not. It's some parts are quite fast with nothing around them. Like, and so that's where it is. So he goes and gets onto the train. Mm-hmm. So he has to get onto the back of the train and make his way up to the front of the train.
Okay.
Because you don't go to the front of the train and make your way to the back of the train, do you?
No, but I can even see that he's still bumbling, so they're a bit late, you know. So he's flying up to it, and he barely gets onto it. And now they're on the top of the train, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it always has.
Yeah, he has to be getting onto a moving train. He can't be getting onto a static train. He has to be getting onto a movement train.
Yeah. Like, I can even see, like, they're going together, you know, like, maybe he's not, like, I don't see Brian on top of him. I could see, like, a little side go Gadget sidecar, like Indiana Jones 3. And, like, he's flying Brian in there, and they're just...
Did he turn into, like, a unicycle at one point?
Himself?
Inspector Gadget.
I don't know.
I think I remember something like that. I might be mixing up a completely different cartoon, but like a wheel pops out of his, like, out between his legs. His legs pop up, and he like makes a little seat, and his arms turn into handles, and he just drives off.
So he could be a jet. But I'd say like the train is a bit too fast for him. Even though he didn't catch up to a plane,
but that was in the sky or on the ground.
I just think like to get to the very back, he just extends his arms, you know, and grabs and then retracts in, and that's how they get to the back of the train, you know. And they look in, and they're like, oh, it's not the right cart, so we have to jump up. And there's a reason they can't go into the cart, so they have to jump up on the top. And they're like, so they're at the back of the train. But there's got to be a reason they don't go into the train, you know? Like, maybe Mad are there. Mad were right behind them, so this time Mad are ahead of them. So you look into the train, and there's just those mad henchmen are already there.
Yeah, what if
they're shit, they're here.
They don't want the people who are on the train, the workers, the agents or whatever it is that are on the train. They wouldn't be civilians, but they'd be agents or whatnot. They don't want to get them in the crossfire of a fight. So it's like, so we have to stay outside. We have to stay outside.
But I'd say if Matt are there, they probably have taken everybody hostage. So it's a hostage situation. They don't know that, basically, they think the thing might be there. And these guys are doing like a systematic search of the train until they find the item. Now, we know they don't, that it's not there. But they don't know that, so they have to like, and they want to save these innocent people. Like, they're like, look, these soldiers, they signed up for what they've signed up for this, but we need to save them, you know? Which ends up being a really cool scene, something different. Because, like, again, it's a little espionage, but it's like people's lives are at stake here. So you can have really cool stuff. I'd say scenarios where, like, you know, he appears at a window and someone's like, hey, what are you doing? Grabs the guy hostage, but the arm goes over the train, enters the other window, and knocks the guy out. Like that.
So you see the guy just walking up to the window, hey, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden his face just gets smashed up against the window. He has his nose all pressed up.
And you can have Brian like kicking some sweet ass as well, like just.
And we have like Brian like take on like maybe 4 of them, but Inspector Gadget is taking on like 15 guys all in one go, like with all his different gadgets, popping them all out. Like maybe he's like brushing one guy's teeth or something like it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, like I want to fight you, but like it's just he's pulling out all the gadgets without even thinking about it.
I'd say that would be really funny if you started with like Brian taking out like 3 guys, Gadget's taking out like 10 guys, and Gadget's like he gets a bit cocky. He's like, you'll learn, kid. The next compartment, the inspector's gadgets are useless. So he's taking out 1 guy, and Brian's taking out 10 guys, and he's gonna even himself out. And he was like, "Were you brushing the guy's tooth? Shut up." He's like, "What were you doing back there? You were just messing around with him. Let's just knock him out." And he's got like a towel that's whipping him in the face. He's like, "Sorry, I panicked." You know? Go, Gadget, towel whip.
Go, Gadget, wet cloth locker room move. That's a special move. So we should save that till the end because that's awesome.
Yeah, but also then we need that kind of like video game villain now.
Yeah.
So the guy that they released, like the guy that Penny caught and basically set up to catch the Claw, escaped. He's on this train, and that needs to be a showdown moment, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But who takes this guy out? Is it Brian or is it Gadget? Or I think it's both of them.
Yeah, I like the idea of both of them. I like an idea now having a. We always do this though, interrogation scene, but like imagine an Inspector Gadget interrogation scene.
Hey, they're classic scenes.
That could be pretty funny, I think.
Where he like takes the espresso out and like rubs it under his nose and he's like, "Do you smell that?" Yeah.
He's good cop.
Yeah, it's Colombian. How do you have Colombian beans in your kidney?
Only fair trade.
So they eradicate all the guys. They knock everybody out. The soldiers are fine, and they come to that last cart. You know, that last cart is the villain or the sub villain, and John Hamm, basically. They got the number 1.
The number 1 madman.
His name is number 2. My number 2 man. So they catch him. And through an elaborate kind of scene, like they actually catch. Maybe it's like a gun to the head kind of scenario, like I'll kill her, you know, and he does something with his gadgets to knock the guy out. Not the, arm over the thing. I think maybe Brian should do this one though. Like his gadgets are useless, so Brian probably just
punches him in the face.
Yeah. Shoots the guy.
Maybe waterboards him. Is it really dark on this? We do it like the James Bond, the Casino Royale with the whip, or the rope and the testicles.
So you have like Gadget there go like go Gadget, like maybe even going through like his inventory, like we go to like Gadget inventory.
Oh, like Tony Stark hood.
Yeah. So right in his mind, he's going through the inventory, and you have Brian with his gun out, going like, "I got this." He's like, "No, go Gadget, no," and Brian just shoots the guy in the arm. He just shoots him in the arm. The bullet hits on the elbow. So it doesn't kill. It doesn't go near the hostage, but it destroys the gun. So he's like, "All your gadgets," and all I did was I took out the guy. So they interrogate him.
Go Gadget first aid kit.
Yeah, and they're like, "Okay, so it's not here. It's not here. Like we couldn't find it. It has to be in this 3rd location." But I think they do find out where Claw is because Claw won't be at that 3rd location.
No, Claw's in a skyscraper somewhere. He's like a kingpin, you know.
So I'd say, knowing that it's in the 3rd location and they have Penny, I think you have a time bomb scenario where you could have, we might be wrong here, but maybe Claw's men are going for the device and they're already close. So they'll get it in time, but where they're at now on the train, they're close to Claw. So they decide to go get Claw instead of go get the device. But now they can't fail because if they fail, Claw's men get the device. They're just too far away from it. Like the guys have like a head start, you know. Like they're close to it.
When we both went for the plane at the same time, it was like we realized that you can only be in one place, but we can go to all 3 at the same time. We have enough men to go to all 3. So right as we're speaking, this train was only just a diversion. We were hoping you were going to go for the train. This is a diversion.
Yeah.
To stall your time, we've already got to the submarine. So maybe they're already there. Maybe that's what John Hamm says. I was like, we're already in the submarine. They already took it. So now it's like, so we have to go get Claw. We have to go get the
submarine's on the way back. They actually captured the submarine, and they're taking the submarine on the way back. because not just like the ending I'm thinking about. Which sorry guys, but we usually spoil the endings in advance because we just thought of it. I think he should use a submarine to defeat Claw. Like that has the device that can make another Inspector Gadget, right? So you drive that submarine into like the layer of Claw or whatever. Like use that as like a missile itself.
Claw is in an underwater layer. Is that what we're thinking? Is that where we're going with this?
Maybe not underwater, but you can use it like maybe it's on water, so you have it like ram the bottom of it and like it burst out. Like
all right, so he's on like the edge of Manhattan. He's on the edge of New York. He's like he just drives it right.
So he's got like, and you have that map where it's like here it is. Here I am, and Gadget's on his way here, you know. So I think Gadget's going to Claw to beat Claw because that thing's coming, and he has to stop it, but he has to stop Claw as well. So what's his choice? He's like, do I go stop the submarine or do I stop Claw? Right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm good with that. Okay, so he goes to stop Claw, and that's his choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Because from John Hamm's Madman, we find out where he is, and like I'd say they do some like. We talked about this before about interrogation scenes. Sorry, about like all these really intricate stuff, like how like they chop ears off and like they clip and stuff. I'd say you can have Inspector Gadget trying all these devices, like really buzzing into his head, like I will do this, I'll do this. I think simple things like like punches, kicks, or like a kick to the nuts, which I keep going back to today. I don't know
You're
why.
really in a slap happy mode, aren't you?
Yeah, but I think all his gadgets could be kind of overplayed when it comes to getting some information out of a guy. So maybe it is simple. It's a simpler thing, that does it. Maybe it is like you said, joking waterboard, but maybe it is something where like Brian grabs the guy's head and dunks it in the water, holds him down, pulls him out. Where is it? And he keeps doing that until the guy's like, "It's in Manhattan or whatever." Like it's at the docks. It's in the Docklands or somewhere.
Yeah, so maybe he's saying like, "Where's Penny? Where is she? We need to get her. Where is Penny?" And he's like,
and he goes, "Go Gadget, Bat voice, Batman voice. Where is she? Where is she?
Go Gadget, pissed off mode."
Yeah, go Gadget, bait voice.
Doctor is your ally. So yeah, so maybe he's like, where's Penny? So that's the question they're asking, and then John Hammond's like, she's in Manhattan.
Claw's got her.
Yeah. Claw won't let her out of his sight. And maybe it's like, so Claw's with her. He's like, yeah. So then it's like, okay, so that's why we got the Claw. So maybe he wants to go and save Penny. Maybe that's maybe he sets off Brian like, right, you have to go to the submarine. You're a backup now, so you have to go to the submarine.
Oh, I like that. So you split them up.
Yeah. So now we go back to the way it was again. So you go to the submarine. Your plan B. If
you're Inspector Gordon in Batman Begins. You stop that train. I stop the guy.
You have the water tower, like basically that thing.
Yeah.
The hub. So that's it. So he goes off to the submarine. It's like if I can't stop Claw, you're gonna have to destroy the place.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what about you and Penny? Like, he goes, well, look, she'd understand this. This is what we do. We're here to save people. Like,
yeah.
We're the law. Like, that's our job. So it's like, okay, so Brian agrees with it. He goes off then to get into the submarine.
I like that, yeah.
So that's his mission then. So then Inspector Gadget is like, right, I'm off to New York, baby. So he goes.
To make it easier for Brian, I'd say that the submarine might be like on surface traveling, right?
Yeah, something like
Right,
that.
that's not hiding.
Yeah, we'll cheat something.
Yeah, because the submarine was really cool for us because of the idea of Inspector Gadget going underwater. But how's Brian going to get there?
Yeah, maybe he gives Brian his Inspector Gadget, his Go Gadget car. Do you remember? Like, he used to morph into different things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then we'll do that.
It was like he had like a minivan, like with a red top, and then it was like Go Gadget police car, and I went into the police car.
See, the thing where like they're back at Gadget's home, it's like, and then like we're inside the garage, and it's just like it's all black.
He has all attachments.
It opens up, and like there's that car there. But yeah, he's adding more gadgets. He's like, you think I live with all this shit inside me?
I'm carrying everything around me all day. Do you know how cumbersome that is?
Yeah. He's like, what are you gonna put? He's like putting like cream pies and boxing gloves.
Yeah, he's taking out his friendly defenses and he's putting in hardcore defenses now.
Like the shit just got real.
Yeah, he's taking out a cream pie, a custard pie, and he's putting that on the table and he's putting a lot of grenades in instead.
We ride together, we die together. Mad boys for life.
It is Michael Bay after all. Oh, hold on a second though. If it's Michael Bay, we really do have to get the building to explode in the end and fall and destroy the city.
Although I thought the submarine is a good weapon.
Yeah.
Like, and you can make the thing like, the device itself. is
The old rabbit's foot.
yeah, like it's safe. It is safe, and it'll never be destroyed in some way. But you can calibrate it to be a giant detonator.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because we were trying to crash a plane earlier. I'm trying to cover myself going, well, that was explosive. So I'd say it's like, this thing is perfect. You can drop it from a plane. You can do whatever. It's fine. But you type in something, you twist it, you do something to it. It's like
You look at that bad boy sideways, and he's going to get mean.
It's got the clapper. Clap on. They're like, why the fucking clapper?
Don't clap.
Why the clapper? Because it was a 90s throwback. When they designed this thing, it was a 90s.
It was cool back then.
What a shit way to turn on your light.
Yeah, it's dark. I don't want to wake my spouse up. Let me just clap really loud and turn the light on because I want to read a book.
You wake up late at night, you're like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Oh, it's even worse than opening your eyes. Like, fuck it. I think right now we're at a good age where you can use the light of your phone to navigate all the way to the bedroom, to the bathroom.
That's scary though. That's like, holding a flashlight when you're in the water, like underwater at night time. You ever do that, like scuba diving or something like that? And you're in the water at night and everything's black. And you just have this like perfectly circular piece of sea illuminated, and then everything else is black. So I was like, what's behind me? What's behind me? Did you never get that with your flashlight when you're in your bedroom? I was like, what's behind me?
Bro, but instead of just like a beam of light, it's just your Twitter page. So like a ghost in your room is just read like, oh, you don't have that many followers, friend.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Oh, retweet.
You got a notification.
All right, come on. Let's get back to Inspector Gadget. This is ridiculous. This is the longest episode ever. Right, come on. We're in Manhattan now. We're in the building.
We're getting to the third act now.
We're into the third act now. Right now.
So Brian's gone on the submarine.
Brian's on the water.
I think somebody went back to the spot, got the material, gave Brian the car. Like, hey, it's where we're getting masked. The car turns into the submarine or whatever. So boom, there you go, guys. We've added a little bit of mask.
We got a crossover now.
Yeah. So we're following Gadget. We can jump back and forth between the guys though now.
Yeah, it's Gadget's story.
But
so
we'll
stick with
focus on Gadget anyway. And
can we have Inspector Gadget enter the building a la Neo from The Matrix? Remember, like the first proper big massive action scene in The Matrix when they go to free Morpheus.
Okay.
And it's like, that he brings in the duffel bags. So this is Inspector Gadget style that now. There's like claws on lockdown. He knows now that his two previous squads have failed, so he's
John Hamm fucked everything up.
Yeah, this fucking ham sandwich. He's out there ruining everything. So he's like, right, he's come for us. Now we're on major lockdown. We're on like triple security. He's not getting in here.
Yeah.
So like they have snipers on the roof, so he can't fly up. They have people like in the sewers waiting for him, so he can't. So he's just to go in, and that's it. Like he's got John McClane. I'm getting to the top floor. This is it. And one thing I think will be awesome is that if we manage to free Penny early, so we can have her like interact with him as well. So we can have like this trim.
I think Brian breaks her out, right? So, I mean, in a way that we can get Brian on the sub.
See, I thought that we were going to have Brian in the sub there as the backup plan. So he's incapacitated from this fight now, so he's not going to be able to turn up like because he's in the water. So now it's just Inspector Gadget. He's like Inspector Gadget's mission is look after Claw and Penny, and Brian's mission is to basically destroy everything if he fails.
Thank God our last episode was a town of women, because we've ditched women again.
Yeah, we just got that one episode out of the way completely.
Well, Maid Marian in the Robin Hood, which is on iTunes, by the way, check it out, did have a really prominent part. But yes, this was the thing where she was the right superhero, so it works with the story.
That's it.
But so I think you're right. So it's this major scene where he's breaking it. I can even see the thing where like it's a bit cheap and cheesy, but in the right context it would work. Where it was like, "What's your plan? What's your gadget plan?" He was like, "No gadgets, just go," or whatever. Like instead of go gadget, it's just go. And like that's his plan.
Yes.
He has no fucking plan. He's just gonna go. So he's like Iron Man 3. I didn't really enjoy that film. Sorry guys, I just didn't really enjoy that film that much. But I did enjoy the thing where he was breaking into a place without using his gadgets. I'm not saying that he doesn't use his gadgets here. I think he does. But it's the ones that he never really used before kind of style. But it is that kind of like...
He means business now.
Like that kind of like, I'm here, I have to get in there. It's no nonsense. Everything's on the line. Let's fucking go. So he just breaks in, like he's like one by one knocking people out. Like he's using gadgets we've never seen before, you know.
Like he takes the actual boxing glove off that punching hand and he just uses a bare punch and knuckles.
Yeah, like, why
He
would
puts a knuckle duster on it instead.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like I can see that kind of stuff, like gas capsules, like, you know, like out of his asshole, like just drops his balls, and just like the gas pops out of it. Like, why didn't you use that before?
Enema tear gas.
Why wouldn't you use that before?
Go, Gadget, lay tear gas.
It's like, yeah, that was up there for a while, I gotta say.
This is fucking ridiculous. If anyone thought that we didn't make these stories up off the top of our head, I have like complete proof now, because we think that we have this pre-planned, you're an imbecile yourself.
Well, this is Inspector Goddamn Gadget.
It really is.
So he's breaking in, and let's just fast forward a bit now, because we should have done this ages ago. So he's broken in a various gadgety ways, and I'd say at this point we're kind of getting closer to Claw. We do need to cut to Claw at some point. I think we do.
I think Claw's watching this the whole time, and he's talking to Penny. Maybe Penny's in the room and she's laughing at him, like, you know, he's coming for me. You know, it's like, after all these years, it turns out that he actually was the agent that you thought he was. Yeah. It wasn't just me, you know. And it's like, Claw's getting a bit frustrated now. You see his hand just clenching up into a fist, and he's like, right, you know.
Like, really not stroking that cat politely anymore.
Like the cat is actually in pain. The strokes are so hard.
Yeah, the eyeballs are really wide. Yeah. He's petting the cat in reverse because I hate that. He's like, yeah, fuck you, cat.
Yeah, abrasive cuddles.
Yeah. So I say that we still have the trajectory of the submarine, you know. So that's going, and Inspector Gadget's going too. So we have both of them hitting the same point. But I think that if we don't go back to Brian, I think it's a really good surprise. Like, you know, like we say that Gadget gets thwarted, like he gets one over on him, you know, like, because I see this moment where it's like, oh, everything's done, and then you just hear like in his little earphone thing, it's like, I'm here, and he's like, yeah, fucking run it through, you know. So Brian runs it through, breaks up the scene. So to go back a bit, that's where we're going to go to. I see that you have Inspector Gadget show up. It's Claw and Penny. Claw has just organized it that Gadget can't do anything else. He has to give up. He's like, look, I will kill her. There's no one around. You have to give yourself up. And he's like, I can't get around this. Like, fuck, I didn't expect this to happen. Whatever happens, it just didn't expect it. So they're in a stalemate. And he's like, okay, like, I will let her go if you give me you. This is the first time that Gadget's maybe heard about this. Or not, I don't know. I've gotten confused. But it's at that point where it's like, okay, this is what it is. And they're like standing off, there's nothing else happening. And Claw's like, just understand that you will always lose. You've never been smart. You never think ahead. You've never ever had a backup plan. And then it's like, I'm here, Gadget. And he's like, okay.
Around the building.
And then like the submarine just crashes through the fucking wall or the ground or whatever, and just breaks up the whole thing, freeing Penny in the process. And Claw zips out the door, and now you have Brian, Penny, and Gadget together for the first time in our film. And they're like, let's get this son of a bitch.
You know, this is Taylor. This. I'm probably going to be like, you're probably going to be pissed off when I say this. I don't want them to catch Claw.
Okay.
Because I want sequels. I'm Michael Bay here, you know. We're thinking about Michael Bay style. We're thinking about sequels.
Okay.
So it's like, I think Claw needs to get out. He needs to get out and get away. Like, they free Penny, but maybe now the antagonist of when they free Penny is
I know how to do this too.
It's like I was thinking maybe the building is about to fall down. They have to get out of the building. But what were you going to say?
I'm thinking they catch this guy, but that's not Claw. Claw was John Hamm. Claw was the guy at the fucking train. In that kind of the Star Wars thing where like the what's her name? Princess
Leia?
No, the mother.
Oh, Amidala.
Yeah, but it was actually the
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, but she was actually the assistant and the Ra's al Ghul, but that's actually Liam Neeson.
See, I don't mind that then if you want to like put a mask on John Hamm's face. But like, I don't want to see Claw because we never seen Claw in the cartoon ever. Like,
all you have to do is introduce the face mask, like that Mission Impossible. Like,
oh, okay, that's cool. Sciencey, we're sorted.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I can see like because you want to catch that guy, But then you realize that it wasn't that guy. We had him all along. Like, and he got away. And
so what if then, do you remember, like, I know it was in the intro where you had to claw, like there, where Inspector Gadget runs up to the, in the cartoon, sorry, the intro, Inspector Gadget runs up to the chair, swings the chair around, and you just see like a claw just on the chair, nothing else, and like a TV monitor.
okay.
So basically, where Penny's been sitting, or maybe we're beside Penny's prison, where the whole time where we've been seeing Penny, like in distress, saying, you're not going to get away with this. It turns out she's just talking to a TV monitor on the back of a chair, and Claw's never been there.
Oh, really?
But Inspector Gadget didn't know that, so he's obviously gone up to get Penny.
No, that's funny, but I think you want that person to chase. You want that last scene, that epic climactic moment where they're chasing, and then maybe the place is falling down around them, and he
Like Superman style, Man of Steel style.
Yeah, we're totally with this. We're like, oh my god, like it's falling down. He was like, what's better, to catch me and to sacrifice yourselves? And they're like, whatever. So they're chasing him, and they actually like maybe Gadget has to be the one to get this. Like.
He has been a winner now throughout this whole
Yeah,
thing.
so it's like Penny and Brian are like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let him. Like, we'll catch him another day. It's been my career to get this guy. So he does. I think he does get this guy, and in a gadgety kind of way, like
rollerblades and.
But not too much gadgety. I don't mind going back to the fact that the gadget didn't do it too much. Maybe it is something like it, like rocket boots that jump him over like a ground.
Maybe like falling rubble and like rubble, like the floor is falling down below him, so he's using this like springs to bounce off rubble.
He takes that moment to go, there's a big giant hole in the ground between them and Claw, and it's like, leave him, he's not worth it. And then he does that bouncing roller.
What if he does this whole like
to get over the hole, and that's where that's where he captures Claw. He's like, I've got you.
Maybe it's like Inspector Gadget's like, go Gadget's strategy plan. And like this strategy plan pops up in his eyes, and he's able to see, okay, so I have to jump here to jump there to get this.
Yeah.
And he does this whole thing, and it's like, and it works perfectly. And he gets Claw, and who he thinks is Claw, he nails him. And then Penny's like, how did you do that? He goes, oh, I used my strategy plan. It's like, did you never think about using that before? He goes, I didn't really know how it worked. So it's like all this time he could have been awesome. Like everything is there for him, but it's like
So either way, he catches him. Like, and in a way that, do we catch him or does he get killed? I think he gets killed. That person, that Claw, because we know it's not Claw. So I think he does get killed. I think that there's that thing where he grabs him. He's like, it's over, and they're both standing there, and Claw's, they're both fighting, and they're like, the whole place is falling down. He's like, forget it, like you will never win, you'll never win. And then just takes a step back, and something just crushes him from above, just destroys Claw. All that's left is a Claw sticking out of some rubble,
like sparking.
And it's like, it's done. Like we have proof. We've seen it with our own eyes. Claw's been destroyed. That's it. And here we have a scene where now it's like the dust is clearing, and you have Inspector Gadget, Brian, and Penny, who are now being saved. Like people are there, and like they're sitting there nursing their wounds, and they're like, yeah, we got him, and they're taking the rubble up. They can see there's a body there, and then okay, it looks like that's it, But I think then you have that ending, that little last ending that you want.
Oh, like the after credits stinger, like the That'd be awesome. John Hamm walking into the room, and you see he turns his back, like he walks up to like this office in a room. It's like he sees his chair, and he walks up, and all of a sudden you just see the face, like you see the back of his head.
Yeah, and his fucking John Hamm face comes off.
Yeah, he just flings it on the ground. Maybe his arm, like he twists his arm, and his arm comes off, and he puts a claw onto it instead, and sits into the shadows again. It's like, gotta get him next time.
Yeah, totally. And we have our face-off connection as well. So, but I like that. So that it ends, we're successful, but we've opened up the sequel, and you have the ending where they're like, but his second in command got away, and they're like, whatever, like, we will catch him, definitely. But
he's small fry. We don't need to worry about him.
Yeah, he got away, and then after credits, Claw still exists. They only caught the second in command. That seems pretty cool to me.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I like it. As well, we said we're going to do Michael Bay style, but good. I think we've done Michael Bay style. I think we've done it good.
Yeah.
And we definitely got the overlong runtime. I don't know how long this podcast is going to be, but we got it nailed, I think.
I think we should find out if they would watch it. So what do you think? So, is it a hit or is it a dud? Let us know on Twitter @StoryBreakers what you think of it.
Yeah, who's going to be your perfect Inspector Gadget? Who would be the perfect actor to play him? Who would be John Cusack and Karen Gillan?
Would you actually want to go the origin story, or do you like the art style of it, which he's already been the Inspector for years and is now retired and he's coming back in?
Or, and this could really hurt our feelings, was the Matthew Broderick version even better than what we came up with?
I really doubt it.
I hope not. But there could be.
But yeah, hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you think.
Yeah, exactly. You can Twitter at StoryBreakers. You can email us at podcast@storybreakers.ie. We're on Facebook, Facebook.com/StoryBreakers.
Instagram, which I love.
Instagram.
@StoryBreakers.
And also YouTube is YouTube.com/StoryBreakers.
Absolutely.
Subscribe to our channel. We put all the podcasts up. We also are going to start a mini-series very, very soon.
Keep your eyes peeled for that one.
Yes. So I think that's about it for this week, isn't it?
I think so, Stephen.
Yes, Christopher.
Until next time.
Yeah, for a reverse speech episode.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye-bye.